Oh, it's amazing! The preview came alive on its own. Everything's working today, it's amazing. Alright, let's give it a minute for people to come on in. Come on and mosey on in. And we shall get started, continuing on in Gleba. Or at least the creative part of Gleba. Ah, balls. What's not working? Oh no, never mind. The Twitch bitrate's not working. There we go. Something had to be broken. Or is it working as intended? Yeah, we really are sure. Hello, how we doing? Anyway. So, continuing on from last time, you might have noticed this has doubled up a bit. I decided to do a little bit of a, hey pack, YouTube pack. I did a little bit of a test to do comparing the performance of the different buildings. So this one actually has two smooth brain processors, whereas up here only has one. And I think this one, oh yeah, the top row doesn't actually get water anyway. So you, oh, you're actually backed up on thingies. Never mind. Actually need these, and we need to remove unfiltered, like so. I mean, it's a little bit excessive, but it gets the job done. Oh, I forget who said it. I completely blanked out of it, but yeah, I wasn't setting spoiled priority. I forget who, as I say, I forget who pointed it out, but yeah, all of these need to be prioritized spoiled first. That way, it isn't constantly outputting moldy stuff. In theory, stuff shouldn't be going moldy anyway, but spoiled priority does help with it. So it usually be spoiled first. Just double check that I actually set everything. Annoyingly, because everything's already set, you actually need to do it before you actually build everything up, because I now have all this circuit conditions. I have to actually set them manually. Pretty sure I got all of them. Looking a lot like I did. So yeah. Well, either way, this thing's hammering along nicely. No, that's bacteria again. I always look at the bacteria for some reason. We need to clear out you. Reason being is I need to clear them out so I can actually get a baseline of what this thing is actually producing. And it's probably, yeah, it's about 500 a minute. It's not great, but not the worst. I mean, I think, goodness, you running at them, where the heck even is it? Down here. A dubber, how you doing? Lurking up. Now, wonder what this is capable of. Probably a lot more than what these are. These are 120% productivity. Oh yeah, the rocket fuel productivity. That has a lot of potential in late game. Is it really late game now? It's more like end. So there's really like a final stage for space exploration, which is like end game, where you have legendary everything, all of your productivity is researched. It's like beyond in late game. Sorry, my nose is playing up at the minute. Stand by. I'm sure you'd appreciate it if I didn't snivel into a microphone. That would be... There's nothing better than what you always want, is just listening to someone and then just slurping snot right into your ears. It's wonderful, isn't it? I'm sure you appreciate it. Just booming into your eardrums. So, yeah, these are all happening as they should. We've got a productivity 182% just from these. This does beg the question, what happens if these become boosted up to 230%? What happens then? And I do that for everything. What is the end result? Uh, 600 a minute apparently. It actually goes up. Even though it slows down, it actually goes up. I suspect this is going to feel it though. It looks like Bioflux has actually slowed down, if anything. Oh, you've slowed down. Are you actually struggling to output? Yeah, it's struggling to output. Oh, that's right. That's why. It's, interesting. Wait, why have you... Oh, okay. It's actually got enough on the line for it to complain. That's actually a problem because it's potentially not eating enough. I mean, as long as these are all going at the same time. Hello there, Solarwolf. Bot is not functional at the minute. Again. I'm sorry to report. Interesting. If it really... I mean, the question is, does it actually matter? These... At the end of the day, all that matters is, are these things actually processing at 100% uptime? Also that. It's Veldak. Oh, I need to check on something now that you're here. So, how do you actually make use of Builder and the other program? So, I finally got to the point where, like, I've finally gotten around to the point where at work, I can actually play around with this stuff. I've got a flimsy enough excuse to do it. But now I'm not quite sure what the next step is. Endgame, a legendary bases, data engineering plays on... Like what data engineering plays? Yeah, I suspect so. I mean, I haven't seen it, but I suspect so. I have actually theory crafted... Scopio, that's the one. Yeah, build it in Scopio. Although, when I installed Podman... Wow, that's actually all gone moldy quite substantially. Builder came with Podman when I installed it anyway, so it's somewhat redundant. Yeah, it's sort of hitting the 600 mark. Hey, 55. Started using Podman. I'm using it in the sense that it's installed and ready to accept containers. And I've been learning how to... I've been reading up on how to pass through hardware, because I need to pass through some hardware elements to it. Actually, the first question that came up was, is it possible to pass through hardware but have it appear as a generic interface? Like if the physical hardware is, say, TTY A0 or something, can it be passed through to the container as a specific name? Like, can it appear to the application in the container as a specific name, or will it see that name specifically that's bound to the physical hardware? That's the question that I'm curious about. Yeah, because the containers need physical world interaction, it's a bit of an oddball requirement, because everyone normally just does specifically like web apps or something network based, and so it never needs to touch hardware. But I sort of need it to touch hardware. Wow, you're all going moldy like nothing else. How are you going so moldy? That really shouldn't be happening. Thanks, Laser. Well, the TTY example is a bit annoying because by default Linux systems have like TTY 0 to TTY 64, and they're like virtual things that don't actually exist. They're not real. Whereas the ones that I want are physical ports that actually do things. Oh, not plugged in. And what else? You know, it could be TTY S0, TTY A0, TTY. I think another one was AMA 0, or S0, S1, S2, S3, AMA 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, whatever. I think it's like 0, 2, 3, 4. What else have I said? TTY USB as well. That's actually a really annoying one because if you unplug it and plug it in, it comes back as TTY USB 1. On Linux, containers is just a fancy name for a lot of existing features about isolation made easier. Running Linux containers on Windows and Mac is often done with Linux running in a virtual machine, which by default has some... Okay. I mean, I figured as much. It's, I never looked into it, but I always figured it was a kind of para-virtualization. It's just that back in the only reason I didn't really commit to any of this stuff was that it was very complicated to just solo learn it without anyone explaining things, and the documentation was a lot poorer quality than it is now because it was just so much less mature. Even what was the para-virtualization? It was on Fedora or Red Hat. Their virtualization system, it was wasn't great. I mean, functionally it was great. The documentation wasn't great. I should clarify. Hello there, Darcy. What's offline at the minute? Alright, so now that this has had a little bit of time, what happens if we pump this up to... Oh, we're launching rockets, apparently. Well, that answers that question. I guess you don't really need two thingies in that case. I've also been wondering about moving the general upcycling onto Navis instead of putting it on Fedora. Wow, that one machine is just absorbing all of it, all of the jelly cubes. That's insane. So this is not a legendary capable build. As soon as you hit legendary, it's pretty much game over. I mean, realistically, not that one, that one. Realistically, this thing could probably manage with just one. And this is sort of getting into the thing that I'm somewhat worried about with endgame. Like, things just get so stupid. Sir? There we go. Like, it's stupid. Even rare stack inserters and bulk inserters are just absurd. They do so much. Look at that. It's just filled the entire belt in one hit. Yeah, this isn't a legendary capable build. It's interesting to see how far it goes, though. Come through halfway through a container chat? Oh, yeah. We'll have 3 weeks off, so get back to containers and we'll support in your learning. Very nice. But instead of going directly what you're after, I first recommend trying generic tutorial, like starting container, download from the... Oh, yeah, that leads into the second one, is that... so the type of environment that this is going in, it isn't really possible for containers to be downloaded or transferred from a remote system. So I've got to figure out how that works. Like, how it's possible to have containers stored on a USB stick which can then be synchronized to the target device. Stuff like that. Alright, I think this is... Did I copy it already or not? That's the first question. I also really need to sort out the rail blueprints. It's very much a mess at the minute. Very much a mess and a disaster, and it needs to be dealt with, and I keep not dealing with it, and it's a bad thing. And I should really devote some time to it. Okay, so, yeah, I sort of... So Scopio sort of made sense with inspecting things, but I didn't realize it was also for managing the repository. So, got that going. Do I want to do the next round of stuff? Possibly. We need to design a little bit of bacteria stuff. Um, so, and the host is where the containers will it run? Yeah, it'll be running Linux. It won't be running Windows. Effectively, a private container repository. I'm actually setting up a, um, a a virtual machine that's... Oh, I haven't actually set up as a virtual machine yet. It's sort of a hybrid of a virtual machine and an actual machine. But what I want to do is set up a virtual machine, which is the authority for generating the images. All right, what's next? What is next? We need circuits. So for circuits, it needs iron and copper bacteria. Okay. Just thinking. So in theory, well, that's actually kind of annoying, actually, because it needs calcite. So, huh. Well, that's... So the reason I pause there is Vulcanus is basically the forerunning. It's the leading authority on calcite. Speaking of which, this calcite patch is dwindling very quickly, despite the mining productivity and everything. But it means that I need an ability to I need a means to I need a launch facility basically. Is what I'm mumbling and trying to get at. Need to finish that too. I mean, there's a dedicated launch facility with the science. Do I want to... The question is, do I want to convert this to... Yeah, I had this idea that science was going to be a direct launch thing, and then other stuff was going to happen elsewhere. Because that's really something you can do with this, is you can just have specific launch facilities do specific things. Specifically. Um... Also that. I could just copy paste that. I am quite happy with this build, these builds. But as I say, they do need... Oh, that's the casting. Which means I need, if I can be bothered dealing with it, it needs melting, which would happen at the bacteria stage, as it didn't consume it fast enough. So that's where... I am still in the... Yeah. That's where we need to get a little crafty. Right, so you need... Just a reminder, you need bioflux. You need jelly, you need that. So it's basically the same again. You want to test exposing things from host to the container on your machine, or run the container... would run a container inside a container, so on a Mac you'll have Podman and it will only run whatever Linux represent the host system in production. And inside that local Linux container you'll run Podman again and test things. It's almost like running a VM. It's 4/5 of the way to running a VM, but not quite running a VM. Alright, so what it really means is that this is one of the little patterns you eventually sort of pick up on, is that most of this stuff is actually fairly repeatable. If I do that, like so, I should have edited this, editored this, like that. My feeling was a full virtual machine because it's a self-contained... virtual machines like VirtualBox have a few advantages just with portability, whereas it seems like containers are a bit more environment sensitive. I mean, you're saying that. Part of the reason for containers is like micro virtualization. It's like a targeted version of virtualizing. That's what I'm trying to get at. Very poorly, but I'm getting at it. It just means that it's platform guarantees platform independency. Independence. Independency? Independence? Interdependence? Joe, I didn't even check the speed with full speed beacons. That's going to be wild. And this is why you're supposed to do it with thingies. Agnostic, that's the one. Yeah. Yeah, so the idea is the virtual machine is the target environment running Podman. It means that I can hand it off to other people, just physically hand off the virtual machine to other people. And with a bit of luck, they're actually able to manage it. So I'm going to start with 2. So we'll cut all that off. Plop that there. Well, we don't want that. So where things get kind of complicated because it actually has its own loop that needs to loop-a-doop. The loop needs to hoop-a-doop. So you need to... well, start with the full cultivation, like so. It's a spellmaster. Oh, bot's broken. Yeah, bot's broken for now. It's that it's that time of the month for it. Do you even need loops now that you have recyclers? It's a good idea too. It makes life a little easier. The same old rules for keeping UPS down into manageable levels still apply. Yeah, bot's broken. I mean, I get it. You could just dump, like at the end of the line, you just dump everything into a recycler. But it has some advantages to loop it, and I am very partial to the looping idea. Efficiency modules, yeah. Saves on the nutrient consumption. So it's an 8.8 build with efficiency modules. Also, there won't be a stream tomorrow or Friday. I'll be away for a few days, or I'll be very busy for a few days. Okay, they don't need water. Yeah, it sort of forces you into... well, Gleba, you can't use the normal build style like you would do here. I mean, Volcanus is a bit unique anyway, but your standard sort of Factorio builds don't work on Gleba, and that's where a lot of trouble comes from. Hello there. More Gleba? Would you be interested in the Gleba thought exchange? Why loop things on Gleba? So looping things on Gleba, it helps deal with the spoilage, the things going moldy. So by going round and round and round, and then you set the spoiled priority to spoiled first, it means that you're always picking away the worst victims. It also means you can have a belt that dumps the spoilage out. Senior, cat woke you up and I'm alive. It's a good cat. So I actually have a thought as well with the whole Gleba situation. My feeling is that Gleba, once you get to know it, it's a bit quirky, it's a bit unique, but once you get to know it, you do get to love it. My thought on that is Aquilo is the true Gleba, because there's nothing really here to do beyond this sort of floating ice platform. And there's nothing but sadness and routing heat pipes around everything, and you make something and then you just never want to be there again. Oh, also, for the first legendary fusion generator. That's finally popped out. Actually, almost to the point of just maintaining legendary cryo plants too. Can you just have a filter inserter on the end of the belt and it would just spit out everything? It is actually possible to do that as well. I've generally found stuff tends to just spoil if the belt isn't moving fast enough. Like if it stops enough, it it keeps spoiling. I've never had a terminating line not be problematic like that. I mean, having said that though, I've never really done it in a super duper late game. You know, I haven't contrived a setup with legendary or even rare minimum tier stuff. I just chucked legendary in here just for the lols. But yeah, I haven't contrived a setup with full or at least a decent amount of quality into it. So there could be some merit to it again, and I might revisit it. Having said that, I think really what it comes down to is asking the question of what is looping and why is it looping? So this bottom belt, well, if I use this as an example because it's basically the same thing, it's moving bioflux and nutrients. So the way it works is it's sort of kick-started by this inserter here, which sends, I know it's kind of dodgy, it sends the nutrients all the way back around to then eventually get picked up here. At which point it allows this to flow down to bioflux, because it needs both the processed wrinkle brains and smooth brains to then produce bioflux, to then go back round to the bioflux from nutrients from bioflux recipe, which apparently is shoveling stuff from there, and I have no idea why, because that's not really needed. It takes everything from the bottom loop. So that loop kind of makes sense. Now, having said that, the top one doesn't actually need to loop because oh, everything just went moldy. Problem you see with stop belts is the item going onto the end belt and not sorted by spoil time, so you end up with the source of belt and the fail loop. And looping is better, but if they're sorted, then not looping would work. Yeah, so I think that's coming into what my thinking is. Do I mind if stuff's spoiled? I generally don't care. I'm also... Did I lose track of things? I probably did. You see, like to have a compact everything build? Yes, I do. Started your quality Gleba journey? I did see that, but yeah, unconsciously saw it. I haven't actually really committed to my Gleba quality journey. I mean, the lack of quality modules does kind of impede the process. Guess you only go back to Aquilo to either upgrade builds or dig more lithium, or defrost the base, which has happened a few times. I had to go back there to this Aquilo to defrost it because it what happened to it? I think it was the ammonia built up too much and it blocked everything up and it stopped feeding fuel, and then sadness happened. Favorite realization about Gleba was the faster you burn mash jelly, the faster you get seeds, and that's kind of the idea of Gleba. Yeah, the more productivity and everything, the more chances of seeds being generated, which in turn makes growing faster, which in turn makes everything else faster. The funny thing is, as soon as you start getting into this kind of beacon build, you eventually get to the point where you sort of need to throw seeds into the bin and burn them because you get so many of the stupid things. You have a spider on Aquila? Oh yeah, we have a spider on there now. Like you get infinite resource from just destroying it faster. Yeah. Um, what you can just be super duper speed. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the exact wording that one of the devs said a few months back. Is that Gleba isn't like a lot of people were kind of didn't like Gleba, and the remark was that Gleba isn't so bad once you realize that your input resources are free and you don't actually lose anything if they spoil because you just make more. Problems occur if you try and save stuff. Yeah, and that's really what the logic comes down to. Is that, yeah, it's a very clever mechanic. I think, like everyone memes on Gleba, but well, as I say, everyone memes on Gleba, but I think Aquila was the true Gleba because, like, outside of the starting area, there's like you need like one lithium, one fluorine thingy, maybe an oil that's off the starter. And that's pretty much it. Aquila was kind of like the mechanic is cool. I get that, but Aquila itself was kind of underwhelming. Um, if I was to completely tangent myself, even the building itself isn't. I mean, it's better. Some of these recipes didn't exist originally, but it's like it doesn't like Aquilo only, Aquilo only, Aquilo only, um, Fusion slash Aquilo only. Aquilo, oh, you can actually make that anywhere. There's no crafting requirement, but it's Fusion only. Um, some of these, well, most of these aren't really. Oh, yeah, one, two, three, four, five recipes to really make use of. I thought about a smart way of controlling the farm towers. I have never really bothered with that. I just leave them, as Nug says, just free running. It's sort of, I have this sort of brute force approach to optimization. It's actually kind of funny because if I go to somewhere like Narvis, like I'll have a full circuit controlled crafting system. Actually, if I go to Fulgora, there's an even bigger one. Oh, that's not ideal. That's bad. Why has that happened? Uh, ah. Why have you not done anything? Thing. Why? There's hot fluid. Huh? I'm rather confused. There. I mean, they're not going to be able to do it. We've got to wait for some lightning to happen. Biggest problem with people have with Gleba is the amount of effort to set up lacks a big payoff. That is too, and Gleba is also. Oh, I actually think there's a few things that Gleba has some that causes some headaches. Gleba is kind of like uh, oil or chemical science is to base game. When you hit Gleba, there's a lot of things that need to come together to sort of manage it. Like you need to progress beyond Gleba, to Aquilo, you need carbon fiber. So that requires a fair bit of space logistics. What was it? There was something else. Not asteroid processing. It was things like rocket turrets. It required a fair amount of. I can't think of what it is, but you ended up needing a lot of space logistics to bring it all together. I'm genuinely drawing a blank. Lagank? Lamank. Biter eggs. Biter eggs are a bit of a tangent to it. It unlocks it at Gleba, but you don't actually. Oh yeah, you do. Yeah. Oh, Aquilo anyway. Yeah, like to set up biter or setting up the biter eggs as sort of a late game. It gets to a step. You produce coal synthesis? Interesting. Coal synthesis from rocket turrets. I suppose that is a platform recipe. I legitimately never noticed that before. I mean, Gleba does actually give you a big payoff, but it's not obvious because Gleba gives you the stack inserter and the stack bonus. But the thing is that like you need a decent amount of space logistics set up to really capitalize on it. Like you need to get bulk inserters to Gleba or make bulk inserters on Gleba, which is a lot more difficult than it sounds. Um, because that needs all three circuits, gears, stuff, and junk. I'm just going to go that way to make them happen. Oh yeah, Gleba is very hardcore. Um, hmm. Oh yeah, I was wondering why the radar area was so big. It's because of the rare spider. It's actually pretty funny. Because yeah, you get a much bigger area. So when it turns nighttime, oh no, it's not the spider's view range apparently. It's something else. It's probably the hub. If I was to hazard a guess, I still don't know what we. Oh, there, yeah, there's the spider radar that we know and love. Hmm. Stack bonus has the same problem as Biter Research does, though. Nothing in single player game, but there's no way have the amount of throughput unless you're in a speedrun or something. There's also Gleba really needs the stacking bonus to get the most out of it. Like here, I'm making use of the stack inserters to get stack stuff out of it. Like the nutrients from Bioflux, it's 40 nutrients. What's the rate? 311 a second. It's physically impossible to do that without stack inserters. Even with an unboosted, speed boosted machine, it's still, what, 140 a second. It's a lot of nutrients. It's just not possible without stacking. And you start to need quality materials as well. Oh, that actually doesn't matter, I realize. So, anyway, getting back to the topic at hand. So you need jelly, you need bioflux, which means this can actually stop here. I don't need all of it. Yeah, you don't need anything. Well, actually, it's sort of doesn't need anything. What I can do, something like that. Maybe put my own loopadoop in for the actual bacteria. But it's a bit of a we'll see what happens. I mean, we've got the belt reader to make use of it. Oh, where that's also a problem. What happened? No, that doesn't fit. Yeah, that's well, the reason I was thinking of it like that is then I could do something like that. Or that actually. And go back around like so. Yeah. Or you output, you input, then output. actually, sort of doesn't need to go there, but it does. Otherwise, I could probably do something like that. Get rid of... Oops, not you. Get rid of you. Ah, these belts are amazing. They are a game changer. And I can just shrink the loop a little bit like that. The question is, what am I accomplishing by doing that? What do you need? You need nutrients and bioflux. And I can actually do the same thing there and make the loop shorter. And then... Don't need that. Or the mold. And just chuck that there. Probably chuck it there even. Sorry, my brain is braining full power right now. That's what the sound of gears grinding is. That frees up space to do more fun times here. Like so. Like that. Which means you can do that. Almost. Now I just need a way to eject the mold. Could cheese it by doing that. It just doesn't feel like a very good build though. There, save on an underground. Yeah, it just doesn't feel like much of a build. You're constantly producing mold as well. I know you say false infinite iron and copper, but like technically it's true. But as soon as you start getting the mining productivity and the better quality big mining drills, it is effectively infinite. It is so close to infinite, it makes no difference. And the I'm still, I was sort of alluding to before. That's the first calcite patch. I mean, it's starting to... You can see the size of it originally, and I've only just put the uncommon drills on it, which has lowered the drain to 41%. But, yeah, there's something like a quarter of it left. It is true. Technically correct is the best kind of correct. I can't disagree. But, you know, once you get rares, you're down to 33%. This tungsten's barely been touched. Both of them have barely been touched. The drain is ridiculous. Once that starts kicking into gear. Hold all belts. I'm just going to have this thing always produce stuff. Oh, hello. And I think what I want, that we want to output priority there, and then we want a slow belt like that. Need to restart Factorio Space Age. You're not getting it at the moment. Feels like just the same pattern each planet. Not very intuitive. And the super labs, oh yeah, super labs are quite an ordeal to set up as well. Yeah, if it feels the same, then something ain't right, because Every planet, oh, apart from Vulcanus, every planet should be fairly different from each other. Alright, so what happens if we unleash the mold? Have I got everything covered? That's the real question. Alright, so when you're less than 30, you don't grab any thingies. I guess you do. Fine, whatever. You're probably out of mold now. Alright, let's charge it up again. That's the other thing too with the Gleba builds, is you need a way to start up from cold. Usually by making nutrients from mold. Vulcan seems disappointing. You can find it first with limited calcite and tungsten. Then you get the railgun and you own the planet. Pretty much. That is pretty much the case. Oh yeah, this one needs to be active. Otherwise it doesn't work too well. You plugged into that. Same with you. Yeah, you don't really matter. You need to be free to be able to make things. You're not making things. Yeah, let's speed it up a little bit. Okay, there go the smooth brains. There go the bioflux. There goes the Chongus nutrients. And now, yep, that's shut down. This should realistically be attached to that, like so. And then you don't do anything, because then it'll have mold in its hands. It also doesn't have a way to eject mold. So yeah, see, this one's got mold in it now. This one probably does too. I suppose the output just outputs mold and it'll deal with itself. Yeah, there, sure. Alright, so you're going to be pumping out a ton of mold. We're getting a mixture of mold and... Oh yeah, because this thing's chucking the mold where it shouldn't go. You should only be outputting bacteria and, on the rare occasions, iron ore. Admittedly though, railgun is a fair way off on Vulcanus. Yeah, see, that's scooping that up now. Yeah, I like the idea of being able to set up these bootstrap systems. That's also where the loopy belts comes from, because it helps make bootstrap systems a little easier to build. Yeah, I'm not sure how to deal with the jelly situation. Oh, your stack inserter too. And then that's just for Darthy. also occurs to me I can just put mold in directly. Eliminate Edinsoiter. Shift that down 2 tiles, just make a little bit more room. Can I do the same here? Maybe, maybe not. Not really sure. Ew. Dinner invitation cloud. Start this scale. Any natives? This is actually in cheat mode at the minute. So like the farming hasn't been expanded, so the snack cloud hasn't changed. But the dinner cloud will the smelly snacks will kick in eventually. So you're not moving. That's where more circuit control comes in. So what we want is smooth brains. You're less than... Let's start with 200. Speaking of smooth brains, also a smooth brain idea is actually relying on the input, not the output. That would be smart. Okay then. See how it is. You. There. I'm guessing that you just ran out of crap. Yeah, you just ran out of crap. Likewise, you... that, but we are barely less than 200. But we don't want to filter anything. But right now, 300... Probably, we'll see. I mean, Bioflux is happy. This thing's just pumping out the mold. It's one of those things where using nutrients from smooth brains is better than nutrients from Bioflux. Sort of gives the other thingies a reason to exist. The other thing that I was trying to headache, if we shift you over there, doop-a-doop, shift you down a tile or two. So... well, you don't do anything anymore. So that's entirely redundant, that line. We need... thingy that does... what's its... that way. Like so. There. So that now filters out the wrinkles from the smooths. You should be inserting and you're not. Why are you not inserting? Ah. Yep, wrong, wrong. I did it. As I said, it's wrong thingy. There. There we go. I also did this at the wrong hole too. That should actually be there. You again. Slide over to there, there. Slip Drop you down. Then it does that. And that. There we go. Ah, just let it go moldy in my pockets. Fine. Also, why am I filtering that? It doesn't need a filter. You got 288. Probably lower that to 100. There it is. People arguing on the internet, how should hardware be accessed from the container, but no final. Yeah, that's pretty much what I ran into. There's a lot of opinions and not a lot of facts. There is definitely some opinions out there. I just want that to be consistent. I want the substations to be sort of like the authority on where the wire comes from. That way it's a lot easier to deal with. Some say containers should not care about hardware at all, and if you need hardware, they should wrap the hardware in some network-capable interface that's deployed physically, and then have a container accessing it. XKCD on standards, yep. That's the thing, is that the only tool available for containers is a network interface. And things like TTYs and SPIs and I2Cs are kind of difficult to wrap in network interfaces. Yeah, the SPI one's going to be interesting. Because SPI, I think, needs kernel access. Oh, we're almost at ad break time. Good time. Wow, we've already blown through an hour. It would be interesting. I just don't understand how you abstract some of this, some of that stuff to damn it. I'm trying to brain here. And it's not letting me brain. There you go. It's actually problematic. Podman is what we're working with. Or at least that was the Veldak suggestion. And I think it is a good idea to use Podman. Alright, so we've got this going good, so you lack the wrinkles. You lack, yes, this is where Gleba gets annoying, is see I am filtering it out, but I'm not getting rid of the mold. I need to rethink that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, containers at the end of the day are just, I want to say SE Linux stuff, but I don't think that's entirely accurate. It relies upon SE Linux capabilities. Can you do... No. You can't do that because you physically need... Hmm. Yeah, Podman seems really cool. Has a lot of fun things attached to it. Fun times, some would even say. Right, so that means you can go over there. That goes there. 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 I mean, I only slightly hate it. I don't completely hate it. I like how this jelly is just going in constant. Oh yeah, true. True. Do it there. I mean, in theory it should do that. Trouble is, this just pumps out mold. It's not the best. I'll probably attach another thingy to it. Probably. Not using quality substations requirements. I haven't so this isn't meant to be a final endgame build. This is meant to be the next stage of Gleba. And I don't have quality substations available yet. You're reading that belt. What do you say? 200. So what I'm thinking... That doesn't even work. What I was thinking was enable, disable. So when this doesn't need to run, it doesn't send stuff down the line. The problem is that there's no way to remove stuff that's already on the line. This is where the whole thing about having a loop comes back into play. But the way I've arranged things, I might be able to reintroduce the loop. Can even slide that down there for consistency. Problem is, to do the loop, you need something like that. There. That's still not enough space for it. Another stack inserter. Well, this thing doesn't really need to run all the time. Ugh, words. And thing in my throat. Like, this is only just to kickstart this. It doesn't need to... like, supply everything constantly. Do I even have a yellow belt? I mean, I got a yellow belt there. The yellow belt is necessary to make sure things get pushed out. Yeah, it only needs to jumpstart things. It doesn't need to run all the time. Maybe the answer is bringing it next to Bioflux. Just really, really get crazy. Get rid of the, those thingies. The efficiency thingy. Even, like, plop it there. And you can go there. Does this make sense, though? We need a filter. I mean, saying that, I don't think this actually works. This is something that, it looks like it should work, but actually doesn't. Because, so what's going to happen is that those items there are going to go moldy, but they're already committed to that lane, so they can't be picked out. Which means it's just going to be permanent mold. I can just slide those down, so they're more willing to grab everything. You output. The annoying thing is, potentially creative for myself, is you should go there, maybe. Use an inserter at the end of the belt? Yeah, I like... Inserters do have a cost to them. And so that's why I'm sort of hesitant to commit to them. I mean, it's probably completely unnecessary, realistically. Do you... No, you don't need access to Bioflux. So potentially, we can insert that there. Output you over here now. Like that. Freeze up this. To then do that. And that. Like so. Yeah, that's what I was leading into, is that it looks intuitive, but it doesn't actually work. I think there's at least several people in the land did that, and the same thing happened. Yeah, it was problematic. I think the best course of action is just an inserter like that. Just pull out the mold. Hopefully that works. And that should be on the far side. Nice wibbly wobbly belt. I haven't committed an output there. Problem is once this thing stops running, it's permanently like I effectively have a permanent mold generator. You're not running. Oh, wait. You're not running either. Oh, I see why. Need to not be that. Yeah, 81 is a perfectly round number. It leads into the next thing of what happens if we get even more radical. I'm going to pick all that out. And then delete. So my radical idea is to switch these two around. Preferably not beacon aligned, ideally. They can go there, because there's two tile gap. Two tile gap. You can swing through there. I'm just sort of seeing it stuttering into life again. Like so. Grab you. 1, 2, there. Chuck that there. You come up here. Like so. Then we can have, hopefully, you right there. Oh, that's why that did the wibbly wobblies, now I remember. 81, 3 by 8, 3 by 3 by 3 by 3, yes. Makes perfect sensibles. The other thingy needs thingy output. That goes the right way. Then we have access to the ideal old outlet. Oh, right. That's why you stopped. And there. There. My pockets are getting overfull. All this quality crap really crams your pockets full of a lot of items. Jelly's a little overstuffed. 150. And now how to get the bacteria out. That is the next conundrum. Well, we can't go there. Actually. A lot of effort for just the bacteria situation. I also need a way to output the iron that's rotted into the iron bacteria that's rotted into iron ore. It's not doing that at the minute. That requires something like that. Yeah, like that. There. Probably that. So, like, you pick out the iron. You don't do anything except for the slow belt there. Suppose that should be like that, actually. There we go. Why are you beacon aligned? How dare you be beacon aligned? Probably because of that. Can I scooch it over? Yes, I can. Oops, that's the tab key. Tab key exists. Good to know. Okay. Oop. Now you're not beacon aligned. Okay. Oh yeah, priority on the slow belt. Yes, you're right. I forgot to re-add that. And it feels like something's crawling on my arm. 'Cause that's the thing you want. Oh, you've lost your settings. No. Uh, 5k, you... Yeah, greater than 30, you greater than 30, maybe? So it needs a constant supply of... The bacteria cultivation needs iron bacteria to produce 4 more iron bacteria. That's why this loop belt exists. So you actually need this loop belt to maintain it. Maintain its own sequence. Oh, also that. Problem still stands though, is I need to get stuff... Oh wait, now this is even more blocked than before. This is where you get into really retarded stuff like this. Can I do this another way? No. I was hoping I'd slide it down a tile, but it's not really possible. Also, you're not set for that. So you're outputting mold. Oh, hi. Good yeetings. All that fun stuff. I have a dumber idea. I mean, it's something that I try and avoid most of the time, but it has its place. Foot going well? Yeah, it's, actually I haven't looked at it. No, you can't run from the mudkips. Try as you might. Hardly know, it's, yeah, like, there's barely a mark now. It's nowhere near as, like, dark brown anymore. Chair. Oh, so when I was dismantling the old chair on the weekend, something bit me on the foot, and I'm assuming it was a spider. Because the bruise that came from it was, you know, it was a real nasty dark bruise that swelled up from the bite. So I'm assuming it was a spider. Because something like a mosquito or another bug typically doesn't give you a nasty dark, like really dark brown black bruise like a spider bite would. Also, hi sheepdog. YouTube is behind. Yeah, it's usually like 30 seconds behind. There is a fast mode to stop it doing that, but I tend to not put it on because it causes problems. Yeah, but because it's so tropical here, spiders are particularly bad. Hello. Oh, hi. Didn't really get any pain out of it. How you doing, Dredgy? Yeah, I didn't get any pain out of it, but it, I mean, it wasn't fun. Actually, you should go the other way. Let me do that. There we go. Und then we say read, hold, whole belt. Then you enable, disable when whereas bacteria is less than 10. So this will only activate when there's enough bacteria to actually justify activating it. Which does mean that it'll slowly always be rotting nutrients, but I kind of don't care enough to really deal with it. Why are you doing that? I think you... Ah, there it is. You should not be inserting. You don't have the bioflux to, or if there's too much bioflux on the line to do the job. Yeah, I could limit the thing doing the nutrients as well. I could do both, because it means whichever one. It's so the jelly or the nutrients are always going to be spoiling. So in theory, you should actually target. I should actually be targeting both, but either or really. That means I could do that. And I can do Darthy's favourite thing, which is then doing this. And now we can see just how far this will go. Why? Raiden. Ah. There. Yeah, one way or another, well, one way or another, no matter what you do, without very sophisticated circuits, everything is a mold generator. Oh, it is actually going, okay. Theory is you can watch Twitch, then switch to YouTube when you get ads, but YouTube's... in theory, you should actually watch on YouTube and then chat on Twitch, because the chat experience is better on Twitch than YouTube. There we go. Yeah, so now it's getting this little doopy bit. And then you should be spoiled priority. Not that it really matters for iron bacteria. And you're still cranking out stuff good and proper. Yeah, no thingy. You haven't messed around much with the bacteria much on Gleba? Is it viable way to get resources compared to other planets? I've never really considered it. This is my first time really going for it. I think if you want to make Gleba self-sufficient, it's the way to go. Otherwise, just import the rocket materials. Like, the only reason I'm doing this is so Gleba can make its own rocket parts. Yeah, can you do 3? That is the question. You can actually also spin around in there. You can plug into there as well. Right, you go in the bin, you go in the bin, you go in the bin. Bin, 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 bin. Outside of rocket parts and self-sufficiency, it doesn't seem like a better way. Yeah, the only reason is just late game rocket parts, you do need a fair supply of rocket parts, so it is better. It is overall better to have a local production once you reach a certain amount of scale. Looks like it's still going though, still going strong. Now I need to turn off that, so I can get an idea of what it's actually doing. .3k a minute, 2.4. You ran out of rocket fuel on Fungora. How do you run out of rocket fuel on Fungora? It's kind of an achievement. Yep, I'm happy with the circuits for managing the smooth brains and wrinkle brains coming in. Because of quality, you can't use any of the 10k uncommon rocket fuel in your sailor. Oh. Can you just make an assembler with some non-quality? Yeah, what you want to be doing. You want two lines. So you want this line here that makes rocket fuel, and then you want this line here which makes rocket fuel that's fancy. And then you need to throw all of the rocket fuel that's fancy into a recycle bin, such that only legendary rocket fuel and, depending on what level you're at, this rocket fuel comes out. I mean, this is even legendary right there. Single origin dark roast. Yeah, none of those blends. It's got to be single origin fancy pants stuff. Yeah, and throw everything else in the bin. Ah, you're out of bioflux now. You almost need like a slow belt to pace out this. What happens? Where is it? You. What happens if you do that? Rocket part still, yeah, rocket part doesn't have a quality associated with it. So it's always base quality. Well, you need two production lines. One for quality, one for regular. Also sneeze. Ooh, that was a big one. I could have left it unmuted just for you. Because as well as sniveling, you know, if you're on headphones, the one thing that goes really well with sniveling is an explosive sneeze right in your ears. That's something that you want, isn't it? Right, I think these are full uptime again. Yeah, it's not oscillating anymore. So it's set, locked at 2.7k. It's like an Achu, but but it sounds like an atomic bomb going off. I just always picture, luckily that's correct. This picture of whatever it is where that shows the explosions, like this building where all the doors and windows are just blowing out. Or the video, the clip of the Tsar bomber going off. And the cloud into the into the atmosphere. Yeah, quality, you always need a separate production line for quality. That's completely isolated from your base production. Alternate sides? Yeah, probably should actually. I mean, the production hasn't really reached the point where... Is it? Oh, no, 3,600. Cool. Okay, so it's still going. I don't know what the limit is with this thing, though. That's the only thing. At some point, I'm going to drain out the bioflux. I have saved that. Means that we can... Well, actually, I don't need to do that. All I need to do is just cut these off, and then it'll drain out. A vac! Coming in with that raid. How we doing? Manic! Manfa. How you doing? Welcome. Doing a bit of Factorio there. Welcome on in, everyone. All you little dapplings. Welcome to... So, from coming from Gleba, welcome to Gleba. Hope you enjoy your stay. Hope your trip from Narvis or Vulcanus. Oh yeah, we're in editor mode at the minute. We're just headaching out. We're generating headaches. So yeah, welcome on everyone. We're currently on Gleba, generating headaches for some more advanced builds. So we're from Gora. Fun Gora. So you escaped the lack of electricity poisoning that happened, and I hope you had a wonderful flight. And now there is nothing but mold and underneath your feet, and now your socks are wet because you stepped in a moldy mushroom, and then you know what it's like. And yeah, but yeah, we're we're just developing some builds. So we've already got a beacon rocket fuel build going on. Now we're just working on some bacteria. And we're just sort of stretching it to see how far it goes. So we're up to 3,600 a minute. And this is for a single lane, and I'll probably do 4 lanes. It'll be interesting to see how far it goes. I'm kind of... I mean... What is it? 4 times 3,600 is a lot of iron. I probably don't even need that much, realistically. At least initially. But it means that the capability is there. Design beacon carbon fiber? Sure. Also, welcome, King. Carbon fiber is also on the docket. So, this is the outpost for Gleba. So the first build that we did was rocket fuel, which is this one here. Second one was well, actually it was a tangent. We did the bacteria, which is sort of a separate project. Then we need to do carbon fiber, and then we need to do science. Bacons. Very much bacons. Carbon fiber is going to be an interesting one, though, because we need to burn some mold. Yeah, it's just funny that you only need 3 builds to actually do Gleba. Road train, are those beacons actually worth all with the new diminishing? So, for the new beacon, diminishing beacons, 8 beacons is about where you want to be. Also one stack insert, lots of stack inserters, yes. I feel like you're hinting that I may not have stack inserters somewhere. This is also mostly base quality as well. See, I've got some uncommon productivity modules going on right here, which is sort of as far as I want to go with it for them now. And then we'll revisit this with some legendary stuff. So this is really sort of a late game build, and then full legendary is the end game build. I don't know what that'll look like yet. Also, welcome on in with those follows. But yeah, so what I was alluding to was that 8 beacons is about where you want to be for the sweet spot. I think it was actually 9 was equivalent to 8 1.1 beacons, and then it sort of tapers off from there. This doesn't factor in quality, so once you get into quality, things get stupid again. So yeah, legendary beacons going up to 12 beacons. Yeah, that speed boost is silly. Because yeah, the distribution efficiency goes up, which negates the diminishing transmission power once you add more. Even uncommon ones really may sort of kick things up a notch. It's something that I really should actually invest in. I should also point out I have efficiency beacons here. The reason for that is it helps decrease the consumption of nutrients. So does it actually say? Max consumption of nutrients at 3.66 megawatts. If I pull these out, so now it's 4.53. And yeah, you see this bar absolutely flies. Yummy value. Let's forget that that's there. Yeah, 3.4. There is actually a justification for going to full legendary efficiency modules. See, that's down to 2.36. So it's now, yeah, look at it go now. And then once you go into legendary beacons, you know, because of that transmission efficiency, now we're down to 915 kilowatts. So now it's like mix efficiency with speed. Yeah. Well, you were always able to put efficiency modules into beacons in 1.1, but the effective gain was always a negative. Yeah, like it made the machine targeted more efficient, but the existence of the beacon used more power than what a machine surrounded by like 2 or 4 efficiency modules saved. So all you were really doing was making here more efficient, or let's say, for example, here. You make this bit here more efficient, but you make this bit over here less efficient as a result. And so you end up burning more electricity, which generates more pollution at your power plant by generating less pollution where the efficiency module is. Back in the day before nuclear power was a thing, that was even more significant because you either needed to burn more coal, which meant you needed to mine more coal, or you just had to build more solar, which means building more solar for like the next 3 weeks of your life, because going full solar was just pain and suffering back in the day. Efficiency speed, you just want to put prior to, yeah. It always costs more than it saved. There was, I think you could start to hit the transition point with larger buildings like the oil refinery, but there was no reason to efficiency module an oil refinery. There is a limit. It's still bound by the, what is it, 80%, 90%? One of the trains appears lost. Oh yeah. This is a creative map, so none of it matters. If I do that, there it is. Yeah, see, mine is 80% limit. 80%. Yeah, 72%, 9%, 83%, plus 83. Oh, it was plus 83%. Yeah. So the mine is it's always mine is 80%. So yeah, it's efficiency modules are well worth doing, and You know, crafting them, all you need is mold. And, you know, if you just chuck a little bit of mold in a recycling machine, eventually legendary mold flops out. We need to get the, what was the other legendary thing you need to get? There was another legendary thing I needed. I forget what it is. I've completely gone blank. It's probably like legendary landfill or something. Or legendary bricks. Legendary wood, that's it. Legendary wood. Anyway, so I feel like this is kind of where we want to be with these things. Bacteria. There and there. Fish. It was something else that people were memeing on specifically. That's what I was thinking of, and it was wood. Because it didn't spoil. Sadly, the glorious fish counter is obsolete now. Where even is it here? There it is. Yeah, the glorious fish counter is obsolete now because of fish going moldy. Sadly. You remove all that, please. All right. So I think all that is success. Also, can I like just scooch these down slightly? Like that. There we go. Oh, and get rid of that. And that. There we go. Now it's a nice build. The beacon alignment intentional? No. Oh, it's happened again. Why has that happened again? It happened there. You covered? I think I know what it is. It's actually that. We can actually compress this build down. It doesn't need to be like that. Does that fix the beacon alignment? Close enough to fixing. Yeah, it's a good point, actually. There's actually room to have both. So we don't need to filter both anymore. Yeah, like that. Underground spoilage, it sure is. Thank you. Right, so we're not beacon aligned anymore, that's the main thing. If I compress that, then it happens again. What it needs... that there. You're beacon aligned, okay. That's fine. We can shuffle you over. Conveniently, it actually does that as well. There. Yeah, conveniently it actually pulls this into line. Yeah, because this is only five? Well, it's not 6 basically. It's not a multiple of the spacing is not a multiple of 3. So always beacon aligns. So I need like one tile. This should actually be one tile back the other way. If I was to be really pedantic about. You know what? It's a quest for perfection. We must pursue perfection at all costs, regardless of the cost. Oh dear. I mean, I'm gonna have to do it again. Yeah, so we've got 2 on the right, 1 on the left, and so it should be a consistent alignment now. And this is where I need Yeah, it'll happen, as I say, it'll happen again. And the solution is to replicate that. Yeah, now it should not beacon line. Yep. Cool. The only other little thing to be consistent with everything else is just that there. Because it's minimizing minimizing the stuff that's the belt that's hidden. Actually quite happy that I managed to get the poles down the middle too. The substations down the middle. Switching this was a massive pain in the ass, but it's also paid off because it means that the end of the line is always being consumed. Ah, we lost spoiled priority. I always forget to tick that box. Yep. 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 Spoil priority, please. Spoil priority, please. Spoil priority, please. Spoil priority, please. Your spoil, spoil. You should all be spoil. And turns out the last one isn't. Yeah, this is also generating mold. It really needs a combinator to turn off both. I'm kind of too lazy to actually do that though. Now you... 400. Why are you struggling so much? Okay, so we need a little bit more of this stuff. I guess 80's a little high. A little low, sorry. Lazy koala? Never heard of that? Nah, never happened. Speaking around the jelly. Oh, yeah, you're right. How did that happen? It doesn't actually really matter that much. I mean, it does, but it also doesn't. The annoying thing is the easy way to fix that is to pick these down that way. But now this one's beacon aligned. So that's 1, 2, 3, 3. Yeah, so you need to actually be there. So you're 12, you're 11 still. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, yeah, you need to move like that. How hard is it to actually compress this space down? Not impossible. And by that I mean, so we pick up that there. We shuffle you over. Pop that there, pop that there. That means that doesn't need to be there. We can slide that away. Then we can pick up all of this, like, whoops. Sir, can I just have that, please? That would be ever so nice. Now we can slide that down. We need you to start up again. Very kindly. But it's not perfect. It's still not perfect. We are upon a quest for perfection. We shall pursue. to make it just that little bit better, have to do that and that. So now that's 12, you're 12, yep. Unfortunately, I don't know how to get rid of this line here, because this inserter does actually need to be there. That substation probably doesn't need to be there. Probably did need to be there. Having said that though, I can push all this over a tile again. Like so. There, there, and there. Then we need to wire you in again. Yeetums and yeetums and yeah. I mean, don't need all that. I mean, I'm worrying about these being full, but at the same time, it doesn't really matter for the moldy belt. You're very keen on... Oh, because the belt reader's up here, that's why. I cut off the belt reader. Still hitting 3,700, 3,800. You going over tonight? Well, ideally no. In reality, probably. Unfortunately, I did sort of promise the whole carbon situation, but that's probably going to happen next time. Because I do want to make one. The only annoying remark that I have on that is I won't be on tomorrow or Friday, so it might be a... Oh, I can't do it on the weekend either, actually, because I'm gone for the next 4 days. It's actually a next week thing. Do you think modded Space Age might be fun? / give it a go, but hate the early game? I've never been able to enjoy... or specifically... You're making me think of space exploration. It's one that I've never enjoyed, but I think modded has potential. I'm very interested to see what modded... or what the Space Age version of Crastorio 2 looks like. Or presumably it'll be Crastorio 3 or something, I'm not really sure. An inefficiency module. Dear. But yeah, I would be keen on seeing what happens to Crastorio. Whether it be K2 or K3 or whatever. I haven't actually been keeping tabs on it. I've sort of been keeping on this stuff for now. How Erendel will change space exploration to suit Space Age. I suspect, if I was to hazard a guess, is that the world, the current space exploration planets is going to integrate into the space map as it is now. Space Age 4. 2 times 2 is 4. But also 2 plus 2 is 4. It's amazing. Alright, so how's the bacteria doing? Solid. It is completely stable. In fear of the new version of Pi. Actually, it's also getting close to the holidays. So as well as this, there's the computer to look at as well. I'm going to get the rest of it home, actually. I don't even know how I'm going to deal with the computer. How I'm going to present that. The rightmost beacon's actually doing anything? Possibly not, no. I think eagle-eyed that one in that it's not actually doing anything. For those wondering what I mean by computer, so I stumbled across a lovely piece of 1970s computing, and want to try and, with the eventual goal, as of course with these things, is to get it going again. But I have no idea how I would stream such a thing, so it's going to be one of those. Yeah, we'll see how we do. But that'll be a after 25th New Year's thing. Possibly the week of the 25th. I'm not sure. Actually, what is that? 2 weeks time. Probably from after the 21st. I can look at that thing. But alright, anyways, that's bacteria done. Alright, so as I've been rambling and stalling, next time we'll be looking at carbon fibre, one of these builds for carbon fibre. Bottom right was doing something, was giving... Oh, it was probably, yeah, it was contributing to this, but it doesn't matter. Links to blueprints are there, links to Discord there. The Veldak's posting. Hopefully Nightbot will do Nightbot things. I think it's only !socials works on YouTube. I never got around to setting the rest. Infighting Biter versus Pentapod War. Biter versus Pentapod versus versus Demolisher. Because like in the world of Pentapods versus Demolishers, they're too friendly with each other, as it turns out. Would you believe? Like they're completely indifferent to each other's existence. I'm actually kind of curious. Can you like stomp on you? No. Yeah, I was tapping it, not expecting that to actually work. I didn't expect that to actually be a thing. That's kind of terrifying. Builder's Foresight, yeah. So if I... There. There goes the frames. I think the UPS has gone down south. Okay, Chongus. Now you know. Way too many pentapods versus... Did that just... Did the Stompers just kill that thing? Oh no, it's still going. Spawn a big one? Oh, it is a big thingy under there somewhere. This isn't me going to bed either. Uh, 3 FPS, 11 UPS. I mean, still 10. They seem pretty immune to, Stompers seem pretty immune to Demolishers. I mean, they're saying that the Demolishers seem, yeah, the Demolishers I think winning. Because you can tell the UPS is going up, so the Demolisher must be winning. It's just a robber seeing it. Where are you going to go now? It's interesting, because they're on the same force, they can't damage the mining drills. Same at... Oh. So, you need to, bump into this lot. There we go. Anyway, I was supposed to be ending. So, now we know what happens when Demolishers goes up against Pentapods. The Demolisher wins, is the answer. Quite significantly. Also, yeah, for the last hour. I mean, we lost 82 pentapods. We've killed 567. Oh look, it's a small demolisher. Small demolisher versus big demolisher. The fight of a lifetime right there. Because I'm pretty sure they're basically immune to each other. Anyway, before things get too laggy again, I need to end it there. So I'm going to say thank you for watching, hanging out, and seeing what's going on here. And I'm going to go find who is on. Mr. Reyes is on. Haven't said hi to Mr. Reyes in a while. He's doing some Factorio. A friendo of ours. We'll be doing some super duper late stuff. Oh, he's got the grid on. Is serious there. Oh, yeah, they're fighting again. So yeah, as I say, it won't be on for the rest of the week. But we shall continue on next week. Next Monday at the same time. But otherwise, thank you for watching. Please go say hi to Mr. Ivoreus. He appears to be on nervous at the minute. And we shall see you next time. You know what, we'll leave it on that.